Please change your Facebook review to a positive one, okay? A few years ago, I bought a new shed/sunroof combination for my garden. It was pretty expensive and thus I also paid for the company to build it. Knowing me, I would mess up, so I was happy to pay for a professional to come fix that for me. The shed has a roof with a bitumen topping. It looks like very thick sandpaper. The professional builder tacked it in place and that was that. I asked him if no glue would be needed to keep it in place, but obviously I know nothing and that was a dumb question. Lo and behold, 6 weeks later a mild storm blew off the entire bitumen topping of the roof. I called the company only to be told I should have known this would be a temporary roof and these need to be changed like every year. Can you smell the BS? I replied, it has only been 6 weeks, you need to come fix this. Nope, a storm was the reason for damage. Act of God, no help from them. Well, okay, they promised to send a new roll of bitumen so I could replace it myself. I waited, no bitumen. I went to their Facebook page to find lots of people complaining about similar stuff. I wrote a review warning people to not buy their expensive sheds as they get built wrong and any damage resulting from this does not get resolved by them whatsoever. Mind you, this shed was over a 1,000 euros. A half an hour later I get a phone call from said company. They tell me they will come the next day to put on expensive shingles to make up for the damage, at their own cost. But I do have to change my review. I waited for them to come fix it, and they held to their promise. So did I. I wrote on their page how they came and fixed my roof, even exchanged the material for a much more expensive solution, the very next day, at their own cost. Needless to say, this caused a shitstorm of customers demanding the same solution. You're welcome, assholes. TLDR, company messes up their own product, refuse to solve the problem, only want to resolve it after an angry review on their Facebook page. After they resolved the problem, I changed the review to a very positive story, resulting in many others demanding the same. Since people keep asking, yes, they came to fix the roof.
Now to the comments. Penny wise, pound foolish, in a way. They wanted to save every nickel and dime in the original work but ended up having to fork out more expensive resources so as not to let the scathing reviews damage their company image. Should have just done the work properly in the first place, then, they deserved the loss in having to put things right for the other customers. Edit. Thank you to all who pointed out that it was my cake day. I hadn't even realized. Tongue stick.
OP replied. Apparently my review caused some other customers to cancel their order of the same product.
Good job. Thanks for putting in the time to help fellow consumers. I swear I get turned on reading these. It was cold, wasn't it? Asphalt shingles have to get hot enough to slightly melt the tar strips on the bottom before they stick together properly. That is why the vast majority of roofing is done in the summer. If it is done on a cold day, you have to heat them manually.
OP replied. It was. Shingles guy even had to remove snow before he could put them on.
Yeah, snow is a big no. They can be installed in winter, but only if temps are above freezing and they'll get warmed by plenty of sunlight. Also, asphalt shingles tend to have a low warranty time of about 10 to 20 years. Even if installed correctly, they will wear down relatively quickly. Steel roofing has a much better warranty, is installed with screws, and is generally better about snow sliding off. They were probably expecting it though, after very likely firing some people and blacklisting a contractor. They asked the review be changed, not removed.
OP replied. Well, I have a feeling they didn't really think it through. They had a massive fire short after.
Gee, I wonder if they had insurance. I almost had a similar experience with Frontier Communications. Frontier Communications is an internet and cable company that, in my opinion, is the worst company to ever deal with. In my personal case, they offered me Wi-Fi that they promised would go for speeds of 25 Mbps. I only received around 6 to 12 Mbps. Download speeds for 1 GB movies and game updates was about 1 to 3 hours. They claim on their website that you can receive cable internet or DSL internet. When I called them, they told me only locations they decide can receive cable internet and other special offers. On the installation date they told me between 2 to 4 the technician would arrive, but he came around 7. It wasn't even the technician's fault. He stated the company refuses to let him work earlier, so he has to be in by 12 or 11, but he can't work until 1 p.m. He also had to deal with an issue that took 1 hour. Yet the problem was the company refuses to relieve him of his route and give the other routes to other technicians. This way someone else could have came to install the internet. The first 2 days were fine. I didn't expect what happened next. For the next 3 days the internet kept turning on and off at random times a day. Since I am a nerd and love technology, I can easily access the router and do a lot of configurations and fix issues, so I checked the router and honestly, the routers are not the problem. Every time I lost connect it was the fault of the company. From their end, the connection kept falling. However, being the young foolish man I am, I called the company. You would think it would be quick and painless, right? Nope. I spent about 3 hours on hold waiting for someone to pick up. When they did pick up, they told me to hold for another department, so I would wait for another 1 to 3 hours. Then they had the audacity to tell me it's a problem on my end, when I'm clearly on my router's admin page and can see it states the connect is disrupted, and it's being disrupted from its origin point, aka the company. For others it's worse, they sign contracts and could be charged up to 200 to 400 for cancellation fees. They receive only 1 to 2 Mbps. Also, the customer service is horrible from what I heard. In my case most were respectful, except this one lady with a disgusting attitude. When dealing with companies like the one you dealt with and the one I dealt with, it's best to look at reviews. Also, while on the topic of companies, avoid FI at all cost. They scam you by using your credit card without your permission to subscribe you to magazine subscriptions and a VIP access pass. My mom has called 3 times and the first 2 they claimed to cancel everything. One more time and I am going to seek legal experts and see if we can sue these bastards hard.
They scam you by using your credit card without your permission to subscribe you to magazine subscriptions and a VIP access pass. My mom has called 3 times and the first 2 they claimed to cancel everything. One more time and I am going to seek legal experts and see if we can sue these bastards hard. Dude, same shit happened to me. Only time I've ever cheered a business around me going under.
I wonder what kind of bitumen shingles they used then. At least the ones I have seen used, hell, goes even for the rolls, have needed this wax paper removed from the underside because they get glued on place by heat from the sun melting whatever glue thingy is there already.
OP replied. Cheap sh/t, I swear looked like thick sandpaper.
I used to work in a manufacturing plant that made bituminous roofing, and I will say that the type of roofing you are describing is most likely an ice and water guard. If this is the case, it is not designed to be the top layer of roofing. The product is popular in cold environments. You put a layer of the ice and water guard on and shingle over the top. This prevents ice buildup in the edge of the roof and will protect the plywood underneath for longer than just installing shingles. Just a PSA for those trying to save a buck and just installing this on your roof. Perfect. Absolutely perfect malicious compliance, because you did exactly both what they said and what they wanted. They can't even claim it was malicious even though it was, because it's exactly everything they could have asked for, just not the results they wanted.
OP replied. I knew what I was doing when I wrote the second review.
Well, yes, I got that, but they can't prove that you did, because you could have easily done the same thing even if your intentions were fully to honor them. It's what makes this so perfect. My dad had a sunroom added on the back of his house, with the sunroom roof tied into the existing asphalt shingle roof. The old overhang on the back of the house was left intact, just inside the sunroom now. A few days after the job was complete, they got some moderate rain, one of the skylights leaked, and there was also a steady drip from the corner of the old overhang. The company came back and fixed the skylight installation, and discovered that the leak from the overhang was actually pre-existing. A detail of the existing roof had been done incorrectly several years prior, causing water to get under the shingles and down inside the overhang, to drip at the corner. Nobody had noticed until the sunroom was added, because no water came inside the house. It had nothing to do with the sunroom company's work, but they fixed it anyway, for no charge.